What led us to say yes to ConnectUs Church, for me personally, is we had just left a church that we were at for 16 years. So we were there for a very long time. And when COVID season hit, it was like an isolation time, more or less. Like our eyes were open to the fact that it really was God telling us that it was time to move on. He had been telling us for years that it was time for us to move on, but we just never did it because we wanted to make sure that it was him saying leave and not just us. Um, so in the meantime, over the 2 years, he was visiting other churches to see, what would be good for the both of us. And I was totally against it because leaving, because leaving where we were was a grieving process for me. And I went through like a total grieving process leaving there. And he would go to other churches and he would come home and say, hey, you should come with me. I was like, I'm not going with you. Like, I'm not going anywhere until God tells me to move. So then he finally came here, and he came alone quite a few times, and he was telling me how everybody was asking about me and saying that they were praying for me and all this stuff. So he said, would I come with him to church on Father's Day? And I was like, I guess that's the least I could do. So I came then, and then I think I came maybe not the following week, but the week after that. And it was the third visit that I came here, and how Pastor Kevin said, like, certain people are here for you at a certain time. The message was with the counselor or whatever. And he was talking about, like, depression and relationships and things like that. And while he was talking about the whole relationship thing, I was sitting back there and I'm thinking, I'm not coming here for relationships. I'm basically coming, just to try to find a new church to go to. And while he was preaching that and I was saying that, I started feeling convicted by God, of course, saying like, yeah, relationships is what you need. So I was like, okay. And then I also said, I'm okay with not doing any kind of ministry for at least a year. I just want to come to church, sit, get the word, and then go home. And me and him went to the next step where you go across, and there was a sister here by the name of Rosie, and there was another sister here too, and we just all sat there, and a question was asked to us, like if we had a question to ask God, what would it be? And the one sister said it, and I said I could relate to her because that's what I was thinking. Okay, God, like, what's next? Because in our old church, we learned how to have biblical foundations, and that was good. And then the next church, which was the one we were at for 16 years, taught us how to serve, and that was good. So while we're still there, we're like, okay, like, we know how to serve. We have biblical foundation. Okay, God, like, what's next? You want us to move, but what are we moving to? So still now, like, I don't really know what it is that we're going to learn here, but when all that confirmation took place, I was like, okay, we're in the right place. And after that, we went to that group. I think it either might have been that week or the week after. We took a picture out front there, and I posted on Facebook and said, we found a new home. So, yeah, we're glad to be here.
I think you said it.
All right.
For the part that she left out was, I was researching churches, and I actually emailed the church, and I had some questions, and Pastor Kevin, the question was, do you ordain women pastors and elders? Because biblically, I don't believe in that. I'll just tell you straight up. And I messaged and I said, everything I see on your website is what I agree with. The only thing I don't see is, and I asked him that question, he got back to me.
I was on vacation.
Yeah, he was on vacation. And I actually came the first time I came, he was on vacation. But he emailed me back, And then we actually set up a breakfast date, and we actually connected there. And I went home. I said, "Yo, this guy is what I'm looking for." You know what I mean? And ever since then we've had a pretty good relationship. We actually message each other at least once a week, and if anything I can do, help serve, I do it. You know what I mean? But that's the part she left out. Is I really felt connected straight off the gate with Pastor Kevin. Like, I knew this guy was legit, you know what I mean? Like, and the teachings, everything is what I like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So.
And just one more thing, when we left the other church, I still had sisters that I connected with, on a regular basis. But he didn't have anybody that he was connected with or talking to, like when he had certain feelings or wasn't feeling good about this, that, or the other. He didn't have that relationship with other men that he could do that. But then he came here and he went to the meetings, men's group, and that was good for him. So it's good that he's here. Now he can have people that he can talk to when he needs to talk to them instead of just talking to me.
Yeah. And that's why I was looking straight at you. I just feel comfortable looking at you. Like, no, I'm just serious. That's me. Like, when I'm up here, I find someone that makes me feel comfortable. And Brother John makes me feel comfortable. Also, Brother Ed, I love that man back there, man. That's a good dude, man. Straight up. Good dude. So.
Yeah, so we've been encouraging, like, talking to our families about it and saying how we finally found a new church. And my mom and all of them don't go to church, but they're happy for us that we found somewhere else to belong, because they know that that's really tough for me. Like, I'm sounding, my relationship with God and things like that. So I really needed this. So that's it.
All right.
Sorry,